Alright, so this is Priya here, and we will be starting with the QTP sessions from H2K Infosys. And this is about H2K Infosys. As you know, we provide the IT trainings for the corporates and individuals with the real-time projects. And for the MS students in US, we also undertake the software development, design, testing, and then the maintenance. We provide the IT staff augmentation, job placement assistance, and then the technical support. So this is going to be the agenda for today. We will try to understand what is automation testing and why it is used, and why we choose a QTP tool for the automation in the project, the steps that we follow in order to automate an application, and then we will see the QTP. Some of the features we will try to explore, and we will also try to record a web application. Okay, so this is going to be an agenda for today. So before we start, let's try to understand what is the meaning of automation testing, right? Okay, so we are already aware of the activities that we got to conduct as a part of testing, right? So if we have to conduct a manual testing, basically, the steps that we follow over here are: we start with the test requirement gathering, and then the analysis. Then we prepare the test plan document. We prepare the test design, wherein we do a lot of documentation, which is nothing but the preparation. And after this, we start with the test implementation and execution. Then we get the defects, which we are going to report to the developer and also track the defects. And then lastly, we have the test closure activity, right? So these are the steps that we follow in order to do the testing, or we can say that these are the activities that we follow in order to do the manual testing. Okay, and now we are talking about the automation. So let me be very clear where exactly the automation can be implemented. The moment we talk about the automation testing, we should not be under an impression that all the activities of the testing process can be automated. No, all the activities of the testing process cannot be automated, right? The test requirement gathering and the analysis, the plan, and then the design of the documents. So these cannot be automated. We again need the testers over there, the human testers over there, who are going to gather the requirements for the testing, do the analysis. The team lead is going to prepare the test plan document. And then in the test design, we are going to prepare the requirement traceability matrix, and then the test data document, and also the test case document. All right. So it is the execution of the software that we can automate. All right. So it's not that all the steps can be automated, but the automation can be done only for the execution process. Okay. And this is what we mean by automation testing. So let me provide you with the definition of the automation testing. Automation testing can be defined as execution of the software and we are also going to compare the actual results with the expected. So in the automation testing, we first execute the test cases, all right, and then we are going to compare the actual outcome of the execution with the expected results or the expected outcome that we have designed during the test design phase of the testing. And it also gives us the result whether the test has passed or it has failed. And this is what we mean by automation. So it is exactly this process that can be automated. Okay. So here is the definition. The test automation is use of the software or a tool in order to control the execution of the test and also the comparison of the results actual with the predicted or the expected. Now let's try to understand why should we go for the automation. Why cannot we do the testing just manually as usual we used to do for all the previous projects that we were considering? We were doing the testing manually, right? So what is the necessity of implementing the automation in any kind of project? In order to avoid the human errors, execute the repeated test, for example, the regression test cases, execute the test with the repetitive steps, test the same feature with the different data set, test validating the business process, test large number of test cases in short period, right? And then saves the effort and cost of testing under all the above scenarios. Okay, so these are some of the reasons why we go for the automation testing. Let's try to understand these reasons in a bit detail. Okay. The first one is the human errors. When the testing is done manually by the manual testers, it is possible that they might miss some steps in between, or they might miss the preconditions, enter sometimes incorrect data, due to which the human errors get introduced while we do the testing, right? So in order to avoid that kind of human errors, we can go for the automation, because a tool basically cannot do any kind of mistake if it is configured properly. So if we are trying to record the script properly and then if we are doing the configuration properly, basically a tool, it cannot do any kind of mistake. So the human errors could be avoided, which could be due to the negligence or sometimes the complexity of the project, right? And then a tester might be suffering from the fatigue. He could be tired after a long day of testing. So this kind of reasons which get created and which give rise to the human errors could be avoided if we are considering the tool for the automation testing. This is the first reason. Then the second one, execute the repeated test regression test cases. Now let's consider a scenario. Okay, for example, I would like to test the fund transfer in the online banking system. So if I want to test the fund transfer feature in the online banking system, then basically I have to click on the fund transfer button, right? And then it is going to ask me to enter all the details about the payee. For example, his name, his account number, right? And then the bank, if it is outside the bank, the branch. It will be asking many details for me to enter, and we need to enter all these details and then finally click on the confirm button in order to do the fund transactions, right? These are the common steps that we use in order to do the fund transactions. So now if I have to test this feature manually, a manual tester would not take less than about some 20 minutes minimum in order to test this feature manually. Okay, but now let's consider how to do the testing using the automation. If it is an automation, first time it's going to be difficult because we have to record, we have to create a script or a QTP program over here. So it might take more time for me over here, about 30 minutes. But when we are trying to do the repeated executions over here, so if we are executing it for the first time, it doesn't take more than a minute for us. Just in few seconds or few minutes, we will be able to get the result. Let's consider maximum about 1 minute in order to execute it and then get the results. Again I'm going to run it for the second time, another minute. Okay. Again I am going to run it, again another minute, right? But if we are doing it manually, so every time 20 minutes. Now effectively what is happening over here? The duration is going to increase. So in case of repeated kind of test, especially when we are trying to do the regression, wherein we are going to do the testing, report to the developer, again he fixes the defect, again we have to do the retesting, means repeat the same test. In that case, basically the automation is going to save more time for us while we do the testing. So this is another reason why we go for the execution with the tool when it comes to the repeated test. And then execute the test with the repetitive steps. If we have to repeat the same steps again and again, okay, if in the same feature we are supposed to repeat the steps again and again, in that case also we go for the automation testing. So whether it is a repeated test or whether it is a repetitive steps, we go for the automation testing. Another reason is when we want to test with the different data set. Let's consider our as usual common example that we have, the flight reservation. So if I would like to reserve a flight, we have the fly from here and then we have the fly to. There are many input fields, correct? Number of tickets I need to enter. I need to choose the type of ticket, whether it is first class, business class or the economy class, right? I can choose a number of tickets starting from 1 ticket, maybe up to 99 or even more than that. And then we have the fly from and fly to. So we can have the different combinations of the data over here. For example, I want to travel from Denver to Frankfurt, right? Number of tickets I want to book to, and here it is economy class, right? I want to travel from Los Angeles to New Jersey, and then I want to book about 3 tickets. I want to book them of first class, correct? So here I would like to test with multiple combinations of the data. Now if we try to do the testing manually, again it's going to take more time. For example, let's say here some 15 minutes, here 15 minutes. So the time is going to increase here as well. But if we are using an automation tool in order to do the testing, then basically we can create a script with all the list of steps. The steps will be recorded because anyways, right, the steps are going to be the same. We open the application, enter the fly from, enter the fly to, enter the tickets, and then enter the type of ticket, and then we click on the confirm button, right? So the steps are going to be the same. The only thing that is going to change, it is our data. So we need to repeat the same steps with the different data, with the different data sets. So in this case, we can go for the automation testing. Alright, this is another example. Then in order to validate the business processes. See, the reason why we are going for the implementation of the software, it is basically to automate the business activities. You can consider a bank, okay? If you consider long back, so everybody has to visit the bank, okay, and then all the transactions were done in the bank. It could be the cash withdrawal or it could be the cash deposit, right? If you wanted to check your account balance, right, and then if you wanted to do the fund transfer, so many of this kind of transactions you had to visit the bank in order to make these kind of transactions, right? But now all these activities have been automated using a software. And even many more activities, okay? Most of the activities have got automated. Either you could go to the ATM in order to do the cash withdrawal or check the account balance, or you can use your internet banking system in order to do the fund transaction or also check the account balance. correct? Now, if you want to make some payments, let's say you want to pay your credit card bill, you want to make the payment for your groceries if you purchase something from Walmart, or let's say if you want to do some online shopping. So you are able to do the fund transaction using the software. So most of the business activities, these are what nothing but the business activities of the bank which have got automated using the software. So in case we have to validate all these features that we have automated in the software, we go for the automation testing as well. Okay. So these are basically the business processes. So in order to validate or in order to test the business processes, we can go for the automation testing. Clear, everybody? Okay, the next one. Test the large number of test cases in short period of time. Okay, so if I want to test many test cases in a short period of time, right? So we were able to realize so many times that, the time that we take in order to do the automation testing is going to be much less when it comes to the manual testing, especially when the steps are repetitive, especially when the test cases are repetitive. We are going to save lot of time while we implement the automation testing. And the time is nothing but when it comes to the IT project, it is directly related to the cost. Okay, so it is going to save the effort as well as the cost of testing under all the above scenarios. So these are certain reasons why we need to implement the automation testing into the project. Now again, we should not try to overwhelm, or we need not try to misunderstand the application of the automation testing. It's not that in each and every project the automation testing is going to have the upper hand over the manual testing. In certain cases, we implement the manual testing because it will be more economical than the automation testing. The first reason is, for the automation testing, we need to purchase a license, correct? If I have to do the automation testing, then I need to purchase a license for the automation testing tool. This is the first thing. Then secondly, we should have the resources who are able to implement the automation testing effectively, correct? If they are not able to, utilize the features of the QTP properly, or, any kind of automation testing tool properly, then it is not going to prove any kind of advantage in our project. Instead, the manual testing becomes more advantageous in that case. So we should consider our project scenario, and we should find out if our software is really testable, if the testing tool that we are going to use, it is going to match the technology of the software, if it is able to test the software that we are developing, if it is compatible in the test environment. And then we should also try to get a reliable vendor who is going to provide us a complete support when we use the tool. The post-purchase service they should be able to provide. So we need to consider many factors while we choose the automation testing tool. Alright. So it's not that we should try to always overestimate how much of automation testing to be done. Automation testing is not always going to be an advantage over the manual testing. Okay, so based on the scenario, based on the project, we need to implement, or we need to choose the tool to be used for the testing process. Okay, I guess there are some questions over here. Yes. Hello. Okay,
Hi
any
Priya.
questions? Yes, Mr. Rao? Yes, please tell me.
Yeah,
I can
that's good,
hear you.
and so far it is good. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay. Okay, any questions? Hello? Okay, fine. All right. Okay. So we were talking about choosing the tool for the automation testing. All right. So we need to choose a suitable tool in order to do the automation testing, because there are a lot of tools that are currently available in the market which we can consider for the automation testing. For example, we have the QTP tool from the HP. We have certain rational tools which come from the IBM. And then we have a new tool basically which is just 2.5 years old, the Selenium. And then a Windrunner, which is quite old tool and it is very less used these days. The usage of Windrunner is slowly fading away. And there are many other tools which are available for the automation testing. Now, when there are so many different tools that are available for the automation testing, we need to choose the right tool for our testing process. All right. So based on our project, we are supposed to choose a tool. And the criteria that we consider in order to choose the tool, like I tried to mention previously. So we need to consider the vendor basically. We need to check if we have the resources who can effectively automate the testing process using the tool. We should have the availability of the resources, and then whether the tool is able to test the software that we have. The technology should be matching, and it should be within the budget of our project. All right, and it should be compatible to our test environment. So we consider various criteria in order to choose the tools. And in this session, we are going to consider the QTP, because currently it is having about more than 50% of the market share. More than 50% of the automation projects that are conducted, it is using the HP QTP. And the reason is very clear. We are going to look into the different kinds of reasons why we are going to use the QTP as an automation testing tool. So let's try to understand some of the features about the QTP. So QTP stands for Quick Test Professional, and it is called as the Functional Automation Testing Tools. Okay, there are a lot of categories of the tools first of all, right? So we have the test management tools, and then we have the performance testing tools. We have the automation testing tools, right? So our QTP falls in this category. It falls under the category of automation testing tools, and these are some of the categories of the tools that are available for the testing process. And the QTP falls under the automation testing tool, which is going to test the features and the functionalities of the application, and that is why we call it as the functional automation testing tool. So it is going to test the features or the functionalities of the application by following the steps, and also it is going to provide us with the results. So we can automate the functionality of the application by recording the actions on the application developing the script. So we will come to it. Okay, it is too early really to discuss about what is a script, what is a recording, right? But for now we can just understand that the QTP is a right tool to be used for the functionality testing, especially for the regression test cases. I hope everybody knows the meaning of regression basically. So what is a regression? when we do the functional testing and then we identify a lot of defects, they are to be fixed by the developer, right? And after he fixes the defects, we need to do the retest, or in other words, we need to cross verify whether he has developed them properly, correct? So this is what we call as the regression testing. And not in that case also, not just this case, in case there is any kind of change in the environment and we have to do the retesting, so we call that also as a regression testing. In other words, okay, in simple terms, if I have to say about the regression testing, repetition. It is nothing but the repetitive testing. In case of, the defects when they are fixed, in case when the environment is changed, right? So we are going to conduct the repetitive test and we call it as the regression testing. Okay. So whenever it is repetitive, again we use the automation, and here it is the QTP tool that we are going to use. The scripting language. Now this automation tools, they work on certain programming languages. Now there is no need to get scared about the programming language. I know everybody is QA over here. But still, okay, we are not the programmers, we are not the developers. Fine, okay. Let me tell you, Visual Basic is a very simple script. It is as good as a basic C language which even the testers can learn very quickly and you can implement it. Okay, so the Visual Basic scripting, it is the most simplest programming language, and we are going to use this programming language in order to enhance the features of the QTP. Okay, so which can be learned even by a very simple QA or a tester. Okay, if you want to go for an automation, it can be learned very quickly and very easily. It could be understood even by the testers, and this is also one of the reason why we go for the Visual Basic or the QTP, right? You can consider the Selenium and all that. There, we use the Ruby, and then we have the Java, the Perl language, right? The complex programming languages are used, but in the QTP, it is a very simple programming language which even the testers can understand. Because we considered, right, even the resource availability should be considered when we choose the tool, and this is why we choose the QTP in most of our projects. It supports large set of development environments like mobile applications, SAP, Oracle, Java, so and the web services, many Windows and web-based application. The technology of the software, which was again one of the criteria that we considered in order to implement the automation testing. Okay, so if we have to test the mobile application, which is a technology, basically SAP testing, Oracle, Java, web services, Windows and web-based application, right? So for the different kinds of software being implemented on the different technology, we can use the QTP. The latest version of the QTP that we have currently, it is the version 11. And then now the QTP new version comes with the HP service test. And this HP service test, it is used for automating the web services functionality. So this is about your QTP. And you can also see, right, several features due to which QTP is more popular and it is to be used in most of the projects. Okay, now let's try to have a look at the QTP window. So your QTP window is going to look somewhat like this. Exactly like this. So you have the title bar over here, and this is your menu bar. These are your toolbars. This is called as a test pane, which has the keyword view and the expert view, data table, and then we have an active screen. This is a status bar. Okay, I know currently it is very difficult to remember all these at once. So I will be taking you to the real QTP. Okay, and we will try to identify some of the features, not all the features right in the first session. So we will try to identify some of the features of your QTP window. Okay, and then when you start practicing, all these windows or all these features will become more familiar to you. Okay, so let's first have a look at your QTP window. Okay, so just give me a moment to open your QTP window. Okay, there is a question here. So in all the companies they are using the QTP 11 only. Not exactly. Okay. There are many companies still in which the QTP 9, 10, 11 is, sorry, 9 and 10 are still implemented. See, it depends. Okay. Immediately if any new tool or any new version is coming into the market, it's not that it will be readily applicable in the project, because we need the resources who should prepare on it and then it will be implemented. But yes, it is taking the market. Okay. And moreover, the new versions that are being developed for this QTP, it's not that the QTP do not have the good features or nothing of that sort. Basically, if you take the QTP 9, it is more compatible with the Windows XP. If you take this QTP 10 and 11, they are more compatible with the Windows 7 version. No doubt they have added a lot of additional features also in the newer versions. We cannot rule out that, but this could be the major reason for updating the versions. So your QTP 11 doesn't work good with the XP system. Okay, let's try to have a look at your QTP, the real QTP window I'm going to show you. And not to worry, okay, when it is new tool, basically you will feel okay, you will feel lost, but after some time all the different windows, they become more familiar to you once you start using it and you start recording it. Okay, I guess everybody can see my screen again. So if the QTP is installed on your computer, right? So you will be able to see this kind of icon on your computer, right? It says Quick Test Professional, and you will be able to see a computer kind of icon with a gear in it. So this is your QTP icon, okay? If you don't find a shortcut on your desktop, that's fine. You can still go for it. Go to the start and then in the programs, okay? So you will be able to find the QTP over here. Okay. So let me open the QTP. We have the Quick Test Professional here. There are many options that are available the moment you click on the QTP. But again, you should click on the Quick Test Professional, which has this kind of icon, a computer with a gear symbol. So if you click this, your QTP is going to open. Let me click on it and we will have a look at the QTP window. Okay. This is the first thing that you should make note of. While you open the QTP, you will be able to see Add-in Manager, which will have the several add-ins. If you want to test the web and Windows based application, make sure you uncheck all the add-ins and then you should have only the Visual Basic and the web checkboxes selected. Okay, make note of this. So all the add-ins you should uncheck and you should only check the Visual Basic and the web, okay, before you log in. And then click on the OK button. Okay. So this is a startup window that you can currently see on my screen. So it is asking you something, right? These are basically the links. Okay. So it is asking you whether to go for a tutorial. So there is a QTP tutorial also that is available, which comes along with your QTP. So once you install the QTP, the tutorial also gets installed. In case, you want to explore more about the QTP while you do the programming, you want to find out certain functions and, you want to explore more features. you can also get into this tutorial, right? It is available in the help. Even after this window is disappearing, you will have it here in the help. And then you have the start recording. So you can directly start recording the script if you want. Then you can open any existing file that you want if you choose the third option here. And if I want to start right from the scratch, I go for the blank test. And it has one more interesting feature over here. Whenever you open it, it tries to give you some tip of a day. Okay, you can read it and then click on the blank test. So do you see the cursor is blinking over here, and you have the file, edit, view, insert, the common tabs, which you'll be having. And apart from that, some QTP tabs also you have. And obviously you will have the new test, and then if you want to open the existing test, and then there are some record and some kind of controls over here, which we will be exploring more and as and when we try to understand the QTP. And here we have the keyword view and then the export view. So these are the two different views that we have in the QTP. Okay. There are some more windows that I would like to show you. So if you go to the view here, there is something called as active screen. So this is another frequently used window. Do you see here the active screen? We'll come to it. Okay, we'll try to explore more about it, why it is used, when it is used. There are many scenarios when we are going to use this active screen. One more window is there, which is called as the data table. So you click on the data table appears, which is similar to your Excel sheet, and we will see what is the purpose of having a data table, when it is used, why it is used. We will explore about it. Okay. And then you have the status over here. Do you see? Currently the QTP is in ready status, means it is ready to create the files for us. Okay. So these are some of the common features. No problem, you will get familiar with them once we start with it. Okay. Okay. So this was your QTP window, a title bar, menu bar, toolbars, and then the test pane, which has the keyword, and then the export view, the data table on one side, the active screen, and then you also have a status bar. Okay. Now the next question is how to use this QTP. While we were doing the manual testing, so we have certain steps, right? So don't you think here also we will be having some steps that we got to follow in order to do the automation testing? Obviously, in the IT project, you take any process, it will have the well-defined set of activities, the sequence of the activities that we need to follow. And here also, we have certain steps that we got to follow in order to do the automation testing. So let's try to find out what are the steps. Okay. So here are the steps. I'll just read them once and then we will discuss them in detail. So before we plan to automate the the application, make sure that the QTP tool, etc. supports the application. Okay, this is nothing but we need to find out whether it is going to test the technology on which we have implemented our software. Okay. In fact, we do this before even choosing the tool. And then develop the automation test plan for the functionality to be automated. Regression test cases are ready. Yes, we have to do some preparation over here. Design the test automation framework. Okay, select the add-ins and then record. Enhance your VB script by adding the checkpoint, debugging your test, running your test, analyzing test result, reporting the defects. Okay, fine. So these are a little bit complex. Let me simplify this, okay, in order to test your first feature or the functionality. Okay. Okay, let's try to understand it with contrast to the manual testing that we already know. Okay, so here we start with the test requirement and gathering and analysis. Okay, fine. So this is not going to change. This is also going to be done in the automation testing. Test plan, this also doesn't change. But in the test design, okay, apart from preparing your regular RTMs and then the test data that we have to do the testing with, and then the test cases. So this should be prepared with reference to the automation, and also we are supposed to prepare our test scripts. Okay, test scripts in the sense the program files, okay, for the testing, and if we require some kind of additional functions, okay, in general I can say that yes, these are some of the scripts that we have to prepare, right? And then we do the exact testing, the actual testing. Again, the defect reporting, tracking, the test closure, everything is going to be the same. So one additional thing that we are going to implement over here in our preparation, that is test script. Okay, so now we will look into the different steps that we got to follow. So here we need to do some preparation as a first step, okay, which we have made a note of here. So we need to do the preparation wherein we are going to design the automation test framework, the functional libraries, the creation of the test data, test cases, everything, and then selection of the add-ins and all that. We have already selected our add-in, and the next thing is we need to record, okay, and after we do the recording, so here we have the next step. We need to enhance the VB script if we require, okay, any additional features I want to add, any modification I want to do. So any kind of enhancement that you want, you can do it, okay. So once you make the enhancement, you can basically run it, and if you find any kind of errors, see, basically we are trying to create a program, right? So if it is a program, obviously there will be one or the other errors in it, okay. Though you are a very experienced person, it is not always possible that you create a 100% perfect program which runs at the first attempt. There could be certain errors, no problem. We are going to troubleshoot, we are going to debug, and then we are going to find the errors and fix them. That is a common task. You should be even good at that, okay. So the debugging, and then after execution we have the debug, and then you can see that we have to again run the test and make sure everything is fine, and then we are going to analyze the results. Okay, if there are any defects, we are going to report the defects to the developer. Okay, again, don't be under the impression that okay, your QTP tool is going to go to the developer and it's going to do some automatic reporting. No, it just displays the results, or it just displays whether it is pass or fail, and then we are supposed to do the defect reporting. And for the defect reporting, we have the several tools which we are going to use. So basically I can say that analysis of the results. Okay, and obviously if there are any kind of defects, then we are going to report and track it. We are going to report to the developer and keep a track of it. Okay, so we can record two types of applications. We will try out the web-based application and also the Windows-based application. So we need some software, right, on which we can do the testing. So let's find out what are the softwares that are available in order to do the testing, the web application testing and the Windows application testing. If we would like to try, obviously we would like to have a software on which we can do the testing, or the application on which we can do the testing. Okay, so we will try out both of them, the Windows and the web-based application. Okay, let's try to first understand what are those applications. We need to understand the features, right? So before we start doing the testing, and then we will do the preparation also, and then we will follow all the steps that we have written over here. Okay, there is one software here which is your MetLife application. Do you see? www.metlife.com. There are certain interesting features over here. Do you see here? You have here something like get instant quote. If you enter your information, it is going to get you the quote instantly. And then you have lot of tools actually in this MetLife insurance application. Okay. So life insurance need, term life. And then we have certain products and services over here. Do you see? Some calculators we can find over here. Find a MetLife office and then find a vision provider. I hope everybody knows what is the meaning of functionality. So this, your information, get instant quote. I can say this is one functionality, one feature of this application. Okay. Manage your account, login and register. So this is one feature, and you can again same thing, the get quote, or if you want to find out regarding the auto insurance. So these are the various features that are available. The search option is there over here on the top right. So this is another feature. So we have lot of features over here which we can basically use in order to do the testing. Okay. So here if you select your state, okay, and then enter your date of birth, enter the coverage amount, enter the term length, right, and then okay, did you have any kind of tobacco or nicotine in the last year? So you have the radio buttons there, and then you need to select the health, select the gender. So if you enter all these details, these are nothing but the input fields. If you enter these and then click on the get instant quote, it is going to give you some quote over here. Okay, some kind of calculator that we have for the insurance. Okay, so we will try to use this one. And one more Windows application, okay, that comes along with the QTP itself. Okay, if I click on the start and then go to the programs, QTP sample applications is there, and you have the flight. This is the common application that it comes with all the QTP that you install. So if you click on it, it is going to ask you to enter the agent name and then the password. You can enter any agent name. You can enter your name as well. Password is always going to be Mercury. And click on the OK button. I hope everybody knows what is the Windows and web-based application. Web-based, which could be accessed over the internet. Windows, it is a standalone system which is installed on the computer. And then you need to enter your date of flight. And then select here the fly from. About 10 cities are available from where you can fly. And then there are some more cities over here to which you can fly. Click on the flights. It will display the list of flights that are available, the flight number from departure to arrival, and along with the price. You can select one of them and then they get populated over here. So you enter your name and then you can book a ticket for yourself here. Okay. Then it shows the price per ticket and then the total price, the price multiplied by number of tickets, it becomes the total price. Click on the insert order, order number gets generated. So it means that your booking is confirmed. So this is one more simple Windows application which we could use for the testing. And there are other options over here. Go to the file, open order. You can go for a new order, fax the existing order. You can do some edit like copy, cut and paste. You can modify and you can update the order. You can delete the existing orders, right? So this is one simple Windows application that is available for us to learn the testing or demonstrate the testing using the QTP. Okay. So let me record a small script. First we will do with the Windows application because it is quite simple. You will be able to get more familiarization, and then we will see how to do the recording with the web-based application, because for the web-based application we need to do certain kind of modifications over there. We need to change some settings and then we can also record the web-based application as well. Okay, before that let's do the planning, the preparation. We need to follow some steps, right? Okay, let's follow the steps. Okay, the first thing is preparation. How do we do the preparation? The first thing is open the flight application. You could use your test cases like you prepare for the manual testing. You prepare the test cases, write the step, precondition, and then the test data. Similarly, so I'll just write down the steps here quickly so that we can use them for our testing. Enter the agent name. So we will enter it as Priya. Password as Mercury. Click on OK button. Then we log in. Sorry, enter the date of flight. Fly from, fly to, then click on flights button, and then you are going to choose flight. Click on OK button. Then next step, enter name of the person who want to travel, enter the number of tickets, and then you got to choose the class with which you would like to travel. Okay, and after you enter all this, you got to click on insert order button, then close the application. Right, this is it. These are the steps that we are going to follow. Now everybody look at these steps and try to just remember these steps, because you are going to help me while I'm going to do the recording. Okay, so these are the 6 steps that we will be following. Open the application and then enter the agent name, and then we enter the agent name as Priya and then password as Mercury. Click on the OK button, enter the date of flight, and then select fly from, fly to, click on the flights button, choose a flight, click on the OK, enter the name, ticket, select a class, and then click on the insert order and then close the application. Okay, so this is our preparation, the steps that we got to follow. The next thing is the record. So this is our preparation, right? So we did our first step. Okay, the first step, or the first step towards our QTP automation using the QTP, right? The next step that we have is recording. Okay, so let's see how to do the recording in the QTP. Okay, and you need to remember all these steps. Okay, because while you will be using your QTP, you cannot come back to the screen to see what are these steps. So be careful, list some small set of steps first of all. Okay, and then be thorough with them and then go for the recording. Because once you start the record, okay, whatever steps you perform on your computer, everything is going to get recorded. So you should be very careful while you do the recording. Alright? Okay. So let's do the recording now. So do you see there is a record button here? By default a new file is open, so I need not again open the new file. But if you want to re-record, or if you want to record another functionality or a feature, you can go for a new file. But currently I have a new file that is open over here. So I can directly start with the recording process, and for the record, do you see there is a record button here, correct? So I click on this record button and observe one thing over here. Do you see the status? Before it was ready, now it is blinking recording, correct? Okay, now go to the start and then I go to the programs and then QTP, we have the sample application. I select this flight application. Okay, do you observe something? I did my first step, that is I open the application. So do you see any kind of change in the QTP? What is it trying to do? Do you see here it has done something? I have clicked on the record. I performed a step. It has automatically generated a script for you. Correct? It has written something here, systemutil.run, and then C drive, program files, Mercury Interactive. QTP sample/flight4a.exe. So it is trying to open an application for me. So I try to open an application, right? So it has got recorded the same step for me, and this is in the Visual Basic, the VB. Okay. Your QTP is quite smart, right? So it is able to, understand what we are trying to perform the step over here. Now just observe. I'm going to go for my next step wherein I'm going to enter the agent name. We will enter Priya. I click on the password. Do you observe something? Dialog login win edit agent name Priya. Okay, you cannot read much at this point, okay, because you are seeing it first time and neither you know the Visual Basic at this point. But at least, okay, are you able to figure out these values? We entered Priya in the agent name. And later, okay, we will discuss how to read the script, how to modify the script. We will be discussing in the further sessions. For now, you can just understand that, okay, you can identify these keywords. I have entered Priya, so Priya is coming here. And then I have entered the agent name. The agent name is appearing here. Clear, everybody? Then go for the password now. What is our password? Mercury. Is password visible to anybody? I have typed Mercury. Can anybody see any kind of password that is entered on my screen? MERCURY. Do you see it? You cannot, right? It is a password. So it will be obviously encrypted. Okay, now let's see how it will be recorded by our QTP. I click on the OK button. So do you see here the password is appearing, but it is in the encrypted format. Okay, please don't ask me to move this flight reservation and show you the encrypted. I cannot do. The reason why? Because if I try to drag this, even that step gets recorded over here, right? So I am not going to move it at this point of time. Later we will see the script. Okay, for now, okay, it is hidden, no matter. But I am not going to move this anything over here, right? If I try to, move this flight reservation, try to relocate it, or try to do some kind of activities over here, they get recorded. So we should be very careful while we do the recording. Okay. Then the date of flight, let me enter. Then the fly from. So do you see I entered the date of flight and it has got recorded. It is getting recorded in the backend. Then in the screen that is behind, I choose the fly from. I choose the fly to. Click on the flights button. Let me go with the default one. Okay, default flight. Click on the OK button. Enter the name again as Priya. Enter the class over here. Enter the number of tickets here. Click on the insert order. Okay, the order number is generated. So we need to wait till the order number gets generated so that it is a confirmation. Yes, the flight is booked for us. Now what? The last step, close the application. So do you see each and every step that I have performed, everything has got recorded. I clicked on the OK button. I entered the date of flight. Do you see here the encrypted Mercury? You can't see Mercury, right? There is some encryption over here. Okay. We'll discuss more about that again later. So we have the fly from, fly to. Then I clicked on the flight button. From the flight table, I clicked on the OK button. Again, I entered my name Priya. Then I chose the class as a business class. Then the tickets, insert order, and then I close the application. This is it. Now click on the stop button. Okay. We need to stop the recording. I stop it. What next? As usual, we need to save the file. So whenever we create a file, it is obvious, right? I need to save the file. So let me save it. We will save it as, okay, flight booking. So we have booked a flight, right? So flight booking. Okay. And then click on the save button. It is getting saved. So it has got saved. Do you see here flight booking? It has got saved. And these are the different steps. Okay. Now let's see what is our next step. We did the preparation, we did the recording and enhancement. So there are a lot of enhancements we can do. Let's not jump into the major enhancements. Okay. We will try to do some small enhancements now. I will be telling you regarding one of the very good programming practice. Okay. Whether it is a developer or whether it is a tester, whenever you create a program, it is a very good practice that you write the comments. Can you think over and tell me, okay, take a minute and think over and tell me, why should we write the comments in the program? Comments means, okay, so this here we are trying to open the application. I'll do one thing. I'll add the comments and then you tell me what is the purpose of writing the comments. I'll show you how to write the comments. So to write the comments, it is very simple. From your keyboard, a single quote, a single invited comma that we call a single quote we should be using. Okay. So here what I'm trying to do, open the application. The first step, right? This opens the application. Next one. Dialog login win edit agent name. Okay, we are trying to log in here. Fine, I write it. Next thing. I'm trying to book a flight here. Okay, let me write book a flight. Okay, it's even better if you are able to write the purpose of this program. So what are we trying to do here? We are trying to book a flight. Okay, if you are able to write your requirement ID, okay, and then created by creation date, if you are able to write all these details, it will be good. In the real-time programming, we actually write all these things. Okay. Now you tell me, why should we write this? Take a minute, think over, and you got to tell me, why should we write all these details?
So basically to identify the
Here
scripts.
it says, it will be clear to understand. Okay. Why will it be clear to understand? Without that, it's not clear. See, I have recorded the script over here, okay. I can see this. When I have recorded it, obviously, right, I will be understanding it, correct? It is already clear to me. Why should I write this, all these comments then? Without being clear, without understanding, how can I record the script? Okay, but yes, I can consider that as one of the, yes, the purpose. Okay, clear to understand, accepted. Partially.
Maybe in future somebody want to debug the script, it will be easy to debug.
Okay, in the future somebody wants to debug the script. Okay, fine. But why should anybody debug the script? What is the purpose of debugging the script? I have already debugged it. It is working properly. So why should others debug it?
Maybe script may fail when we run the script on different environments.
Okay, yes, there are possibilities. So if we are running the script in the different environments, the script is going to fail. So do we really have to debug the script, or we have to check our environment then? Okay, anyways, debugging the script, accepted. And then this practice is followed by the programmers and the developers also. You take whether they are Java developers, .NET developers. Yes, others also can, try to answer. Deepa, Kishore.
So comments are always useful, when you write, so that it will be easy to identify by other people. Like maybe today I develop the script and tomorrow somebody want to run the script and there are some issues, so they cannot identify so what it is doing exactly if you don't have any comments written to the script.
Exactly. Yes, this I can accept. Okay, once again we'll discuss about it. Just one moment. Okay, so in the future, right, we want to, yes, debug the script if anybody else in the team would like to use it, right? They want to modify, fine. And that is called basically the one terminology that we use for that. It is called as the maintainability of the script. Okay. The one common terminology that we use, it is called as the maintainability of the script. Let's try to understand what is this maintainability of the script and why it is used, in what perspective we are, trying to talk about it. Let's try to understand. And yes, the answer that I got, it is absolutely right. Okay, so we have to, somebody wants to modify it, and then, we want to implement something else in it, or it is possible that we might forget. So there are, yes, all the possibilities, yes. And that is called as the maintainability. Okay, now let's try to take a real-time scenario. Okay, so in a real-time scenario, it is not that a single tester will be doing the testing in the team, correct? So we will be having the team of testers, right? And some of the scripts, like let's say, okay, we have some ABC people over here. So the tester A is going to create some scripts, tester B creates some script, tester C is going to create some script, right? So all of them have created some different scripts over here. Fine. And it is saved with all the good comments. That is very nice. Now let's assume one scenario. Let's say that the requirements are changing. Our client has changed the requirement. Accordingly, there will be modification in the software. And obviously, when the software is getting modified, the steps get modified and we have to modify the script there. Okay. Now, I have created so many scripts. For example, this is me, Priya, and I have created so many scripts in the real-time project to test the entire application. When I open after 3 months, 4 months, I should not be totally clueless on what I have done before. Okay, I should not be under the confusion that what was I exactly trying to do with these, list of statements over here, a complex logic I have implemented, and I totally forget it. I'm not able to recollect about it, right? We are in the problem. So the comments are going to basically help you, first of all, in order to identify the changes that you have made. Okay, so that the further modification is going to be easy. Okay, in case the requirements are changed. This is when I modify my own script. Now let's say I'm out of the project. I have got some better project. So I have left this project. Okay, there is a new person over here called as Deepa, who has taken my place. She is a replacement for me and she is trying to do the testing now. There is a change in the requirement. Okay, I have written some script. It is really very difficult for her to understand that script. I might have implemented certain complex logic over there. It becomes difficult for her to understand. And moreover, for which feature, what logic, why I wrote the script, why I wrote the program file, she is going to be totally, lost if I don't write the comments over there. So if I'm trying to, mention the feature that I'm trying to test, if I mention for which requirement ID I have created it, okay, it is going to help her. And also if I write this part of the script, certain steps, okay, I'm implementing a particular logic there. If I try to mention the reason, or the comments clearly, that she will be able to do the programming, or she will be able to do the modification there. Means here we are trying to avoid the dependency due to the terminations and the turnovers. Basically any project, it should be maintainable in the sense it should not be dependent on any kind of tester in the project or any of the team member, whether the people come to the team or go out of the team. Irrespective of all that, we should be able to maintain the script. Okay, I should not carry all the knowledge of the project along with me when I go out of the project. Okay, so this is one thing. So when there are new people in the team and then there are changes in the requirements, we need to modify. Okay, there is attrition, turnover, termination, whatever you call it. Okay, in that case, these comments are going to help. So this is another purpose. Okay. Okay, everybody clear, right? What is the meaning of maintainability of the script? And one more thing, it is also going to maintain the history of the project. Now, the moment I'm going to make any changes over here, okay, let's say I go to some part of the script here and then I try to make some changes. The moment I make the changes, I'm going to write here why I made that change, for which requirement I have made the change. I need to write it clearly. If I modify this part, that is login, okay, we need to check one more field over there. Let's say the person should also enter some identification number or anything while he logs in, right? Or the agent ID, something should be entered while he's trying to log in. The steps change. So for which requirement I have changed, I need to mention the requirement ID over here. And on what date I have made the changes, who made the change. So all this have to be maintained over here. Okay. See, basically when there is a version controlling, it is going to happen automatically. But in this tool, currently we do not have any kind of version controlling. So this is going to help us to maintain the history of the project. So these are the two main reasons, which are nothing but it is basically the maintainability that we have to have for these scripts. Okay. And not to worry about the comments. Okay. They are not going to take any kind of execution time. No doubt it is taking some space over here, I agree to it, but while the execution is being done, these lines are not going to affect the speed of the application. Okay, except there are, when there are huge number of comments, except that condition, few comments are not going to really affect the speed of your execution. Okay, clear everybody? Why we go for the commenting? Okay. Now we have done certain modification, a small enhancement of writing the comments over here, right? So now let's save it and execute it. Okay. No, first we will see, okay, what is our next step. So we did the enhancement because we are following the steps here, right? So let's not move out of the track. Recording enhancement, yes. The next one is running, that is execution. So now we will do the execution. How to do the execution? This is a quite user-friendly tool, okay? Can anybody identify and tell me how do I run this? For the record, I use a record button. So if I have to run, there must be some button, right? Can anybody find out where it is? Do you see anywhere the run button? Yes, there is a run button here, right? Let's click on it.
Play icon.
Yeah, exactly. Here it is. Quite user-friendly tool, okay? And it is also robust. See, it is a software. You do anything, okay? Nothing is going to happen to your tool. So you can keep exploring, you can keep experimenting over here. Let me click on the OK button. And here starts the execution. Do you see the running over here? So it's running. Status has changed. Okay, it did the execution for me and the result also has come up. Now tell me how many of you observed the execution? Did you observe the execution or not? You did, Deepa? Very good. Okay, fine. Let's see how much you have observed, okay? Look at this. Test is flight booking. And then the result name, okay, it has given some temporary result name. The time zone basically, which is my time zone, Eastern. And then the run has started at some date, 12/23, today's date, okay, basically, 23rd December 2012, 11 hours, 41 minutes, 48 seconds. Run ended at 12th, 23rd December again, 2012, 11 hours, 42 minutes. Can you calculate and tell me how much time it took in order to do the execution?
So,
Anybody using calculators? You should give me a quick reply.
it's 12 seconds.
Yeah, it is just 12 seconds, right? Okay. So Deepa, you said that you observed. How could you observe so many steps in just 12 seconds? You must be really an awesome person then, right? So it is just few seconds, okay? I'm not sure like if you have observed each and every step. Did you really observe it? Only 12 seconds, right? So in just 12 seconds, we have done the execution. Now you tell me, okay, I'll take the QTP away from this project now. I will ask you to do the testing manually. How much time do you take? Anybody over here who can complete this testing, if not 12 seconds, at least the 12 minutes? Okay, you saw the yellow arrow, fine. Okay, so can you be faster than your QTP? Any manual tester over here who can do the testing, who can compete with this automation testing tool in terms of speed? There is no way, right? So can it compete with your intelligence? Can this QTP tool be considered more intelligent than you? Yes or not? No answer. So what should I assume, that your QTP is going to be more intelligent than you? If yes, then I think, I
Yeah.
should better train the QTP and take away all the testers out of my team, have the QTP there. I'm going to have a good business. Right? No, the tool is not going to be the replacement for any testers. No doubt, we can cut down the resources, okay? Instead of hiring 10 testers, manual testers, I can hire some 4 testers there, okay? We can cut down on the resources, but any tool in this world cannot be a replacement for a tester. For a human brain, there is no competitor over here, okay? Yes, you cannot, basically have this as a replacement for a tester. We obviously need the tester who are, much knowledgeable, who are able to work with this tool. Okay, that's it. So don't be under the, impression that, don't try to overestimate the capabilities of these kind of tools. Okay. No doubt it is going to be an advantage in terms of the speed. But again, when it comes to the design process, it is always the human tester that we need. Okay, fine. So here the result is done. It means that, okay, it is passed. There is some table over here in the bottom. Let's keep it for future again. Okay. And then we have something here. Let's try to explore this also. See, whatever comes to your vision, okay, try to explore everything. So you have the test flight booking summary over here. Some runtime data table is there. There are some plus symbols over here. Let me go on clicking on it. So what do you find here? I think I can click on it. Yes, I click on it. Do you see something there? Login. Okay, done. The time it is showing me. Agent name. So it has entered Priya. Result is done. Password. Secure test. Result is done. Okay. Click on the OK button. So we click on it. Date of flight. Fly from. Fly to. Right. Click on the flight button. Click on the OK button. Name. So do you see here what it is trying to do? Each and every step that we have recorded, it has tested and it has given me the result. In case there is any error in any of these steps, it is clearly going to show me that it has failed at this step. Now tell me, if I am telling a developer with the accuracy, see at this point of, let's say I'm trying to select the fly to, and there it has failed. It is giving me the result here. If I tell my developer, see, this is the field which has the error. It is giving me an error over here. This feature is not working properly. If with this kind of accuracy, I give the defect report to my developer, don't you think he is able to fix it quickly? Yes. He is going to get to that exact step, the exact feature wherein he has implemented that fly to button in his program. He is going to get there, make the modifications, and then the turnaround time for the defect fixing is going to reduce. Means the overall project time is also going to come down. And then project time is nothing but it is a project cost over here, because everybody is going to, build on the hourly basis. So your cost also comes down. No doubt we have to pay for this automation testing tool, but at the same time we are cutting the resources there. Fine. Okay. Based on the project, we can make a assumption that currently, okay, yes, this is going to be cost effective also when there is lot of testing especially. Okay. So each and every step is clearly mentioned over here, whether it is pass or fail. So this is your result. Any doubts, any questions still here? Okay, only Deepa said she observed. Okay, what about other people? In this 12 seconds, did you observe anything? The execution? Not much, right? Okay. So we were able to run. Okay, debug basically. I see there are no errors, so I'm not going to debug now. If there are errors, I debug, I make the modification, and then I'm going to run it again. But I see that there are no errors here. Everything went fine. So the results, we did the analysis. Okay, everything is good. Now coming to some more enhancement, okay. Let's say I want everybody to observe now. So what should I say? I should say my QTP, please execute little bit slowly. We are not as fast as you. So execute little bit slowly, okay, so that we can observe what is happening, right? Let's try to tell the QTP, please wait for us. Let's see how to say it to the QTP. Okay, I want to observe the agent name and password before we click on the OK button. So I'm going to use some function here, wait, space. Do you observe one more thing? When I gave the wait space, something is appearing over here. What is it? I say wait and space. There is something that is appearing over here. Seconds, optional, millisecond. What is this? Yeah, seconds and milliseconds, fine. But what is this feature called? It is present in almost all the editors which are going to come today. In your SQL you have it, okay. In your .NET you have it. You take a Java editor like an Eclipse, there you have it, okay. So you take any editor that you want, okay, wherein we type the programs and we type the commands, except your dangerous command line, okay. I mean complex, or we cannot basically remember those commands itself. So except those kind of editors, okay, all these normal user friendly editors, they are going to come with this feature. Any idea what it is called, this feature? It is known with the same name in all the editors. Anybody? Okay, it is called as, it should be smart, right? Your QTP is smart. It is able to predict what you are able to type. Can we call it as the intelligence of your QTP? Yes. And the name that we use, it is called as Intellisense. Okay. So this kind of feature, which is able to predict what you're typing, we call it as what? Intellisense. Clear, everyone? What is an Intellisense? Intellisense is nothing but it is a kind of inbuilt feature that we will be having in all the editors of these days, which are going to predict what we type. The moment I type the weight, okay, it is trying to suggest me that yes, you can enter the weight in terms of seconds, or you can also enter it in terms of the milliseconds, right? Quite user friendly tool. This is one more reason, okay, why we go for it. Let's say, okay, wait for 5 seconds. I type here, okay, wait and 5. It means that I'm telling the QTP wait for 5 seconds because I want me and my team to observe what you're doing. Again, I'm going to give some wait after, okay, before I click on the OK button, I'll give some wait here. Okay, again wait for 5 seconds. 5 seconds is enough, okay. And then before I click on the insert order, again I say wait 5 seconds. Okay, let's run it now. Do you see there is a star mark over here? What does the star mean? Means I have done some modification now. It wants me to save. I save it. The star is gone. Click on the run button. Again we are going to execute. Now observe, okay. Everybody will be able to observe. Do you see? It is waiting for 5 seconds. Now you see, okay, Priya is entered, password is entered. So it is waiting before clicking on the next line. And do you see here the yellow color arrow is moving. Now again it is waiting. Date of flight it enters, fly from, fly to, wait for 5 seconds. Again waiting for 5 seconds before clicking on the insert order button. So this time everybody observed the execution. So in case, okay, you want to debug, if you want to find the error, if you want to do the execution slowly, you can give the wait feature here. Can you calculate and tell me now how much time did it take? Quickly. How much time? How much time did it take for the execution?
26.
Yes, 26 seconds. 37 minus 11 is how much? 26 seconds, right? So it took some extra seconds. Apart from 12, it took some extra seconds over here in order to do the execution because I asked it to wait. Still it is faster, right? Faster than the manual tester. Okay, fine. So this is how we recorded the Windows based application. Now let's try to record a web based application also. It is the same way, okay? Whether you record Windows application, web based application, the steps are going to be the same. Okay, there is only one change in the setting that you are supposed to do, except that everything is going to be the same. Let me close this MetLife. Okay, so we will save this and then go for a new file, file new, and choose a test here. Okay, this is one option. Or you can go to new here and then choose a test, or simply use the Control N, the shortcut keys from your keyboard, anything. Okay, let's open a new test. So a new test is opened here. So whatever you saw, okay, it was a expert view. Basically the script that we will be able to see, it will be the expert view. We will also, discover more like what is the keyword view, active screen, everything we will discover, okay. But anyways, for now you understand whatever script you recorded, whatever the VB script that you saw, it was present in your expert view, okay. And this is called as the test pane, P-A-N-E, pane, okay. Now let's do the sum setting. Here there is an automation tab. Do you see? File, edit, view, insert, automation. Click on the automation. Okay, anyways, there are only three options. Out of these three, I have to choose one. Record, I'm not trying to record. I'm not seeing the result. Obviously, I should go to the record and run settings. Do you see here we have the web and Windows, okay? And in the Windows, let me tell you one more thing. Whenever you install the QTP newly, this option will be checked and it will not do any kind of recording for you. So make sure you check this option while you record, okay? This is one more a tip from my side you can consider, okay? So when you install the QTP newly, this option will be checked. So you have to choose this one. Okay, coming to the web. So now I want to record the MetLife. So here I need to select the second option which says open the following address when a record or a run session begins, and I have given the URL https://www.metlife.com/. The browser that we are going to use, it is Microsoft Internet Explorer. But the current new version that has come, okay, the QTP 11, there are the patch files that are available. We can also do the recording in the Firefox, in the Internet Explorer. So there are several patches using which we can do the recording in the different browsers. But for now QTP 9.2, so we are going to record with the Microsoft Internet Explorer. It is the same, okay. You just have to choose from the drop down which browser you want to use. Any browser, okay. It doesn't matter really, because this is a functional testing tool. We are testing the functionalities here. Do not record and run on any browsers that are already open. Check this box. Close the browser when the test closes. Okay, fine. Click on the apply button. Click on the OK button. So this is a setting that I have to do. After this setting, again the same repetition. Click on the record, the application opens, enter the data that you want, perform your steps, your QTP records for you. You do the enhancement by adding some comments, or if you want the weight, you can give the weight and then click on the run. The same steps, okay. Record button, click on this. You can use also F3 key, the functional key F3 from your keyboard. So it is opening the MetLife. It is opening automatically, okay, because I have already given the URL there. Okay, let's wait for it to open. Let me select the state here. I'll select Maryland. I choose the date of birth, month, and then the coverage amount. Okay, $100,000, $150,000. Okay, let me choose anyone randomly. Select the term length, 10 years. Okay, there is nothing less than that. Okay, let it be 10 years. Tobacco, nicotine last year, no. Okay, some question about the health. Okay, always excellent. Priya is always excellent with the health. Okay, gender, female. Okay, and then I click on this button, get instant quote. Okay, let me see what is a quote. Okay, I guess the application, okay, it is done but with errors. Okay, no problem. It did not display anything. There is some problem in this, or, okay, maybe it is displaying. We need to wait. The application is slow. Okay, so let's not worry about it. Anyways, our steps have got recorded. That's what we wanted, the steps to be recorded. Now I click on the close button and let's see whether, do you want me to wait? You want to see the results? Okay, I'm not very curious to see it. Let me click on the close button and I'm more curious to see whether my steps have got recorded or not. Okay, so I'll just click on the close button and see whether the steps have got recorded. Okay, do you see here? All the steps have got recorded. What next can you tell me? Okay, now you have to tell me. I showed you the Windows application right now. You tell me what I should do next. Record is over. Next what? So do you see record is blinking here? Yeah, I see some message here in the chat box. Stop the recording. Very good, Deepa. I need to stop the recording. Let me click on stop. Okay, the recording is stopped. Let me, just quickly have a look at it. Browser, MetLife Insurance. Okay, web list, state. Okay, I selected Maryland. Do you see here? I selected April 25th and then the year. Do you see there is some selection over here? Means I have done some selection number 15th. Okay, so that is how it is capturing. No problem. Okay, your QTP is identifying in its own way. Let it identify. We have chosen something over here. And then we have entered $150,000 we have selected, then 10 years, tobacco no, health is always excellent, gender, do you see female? Okay, I have clicked on a get code. Do you see click something? It has selected synchronization. It is trying to do. We will get into the details of this later. Okay, I'll tell you how to read all the script and all in the future classes. But for now, okay, I should be happy that it at least got recorded, because the web applications, okay, on some of the systems, it is little bit difficult to record. Some objects are not identified. Okay, that is a common thing that happens. No problem. We have the high-end programming for that, which we should learn in order to, record even all the complex objects. If they don't get recorded, what to be done? So there are solutions for everything. Okay, file name. What is this? MetLife, right? So I'll name it as MetLife. Click on the save button. So it is saved. As usual, write your comments. Okay, so the program that we recorded and then created by and all that. Okay, and you can write the comments here also that I have selected the Maryland as my location, and then the day, month and year. This is the date of birth that we chose. Coverages, right? So we have chosen. You can write the comments over here. Now let's try to run it and check how it behaves. Click on the run button. Okay, one more thing. Okay, this thing you observe here. This I forgot to tell. You have two options here, new run result folder, and then we have the temporary run. Okay, so what is the difference between these two? See, new run result folder means every time I do the execution, it creates a new folder and stores my result there. Okay, every time I execute. I don't want to have less space on my disk. Okay, I don't want to see that complaint, because it actually stores in the C drive. Currently I have not given any different location to store my results. So whatever I start storing, it will start getting into my C drive, and then it is going to take away my disk space. So what I do is I go for the second option currently. In the real-time projects, you can go for the first one so that your results get stored for each and every execution. But currently, I just go for the temporary run result folder so that, it is going to overwrite. It will not take too much of space on my disk. Click on the OK button. So do you see it is trying to do the execution automatically? So application opens. It has to select a state. Maryland selected. It has to select the date of birth. See, you can observe here the reason is, these web applications, they'll be a little bit slower when you compare it with the Windows based. Okay, the result done successfully. How much time? Okay, now you calculate and tell me quickly. Who will tell me first? How much time did it take for the execution? 30 seconds. Yes, Deepa first. Very good. Okay, so we have the MetLife insurance benefits over here. So the first page, it is done, and then straight one, select Maryland I have selected. Do you see? Each and every step that we want, it has got recorded over here, right? Okay, fine. This result you know, right? You know how to analyze the result. If you go to the test summary, everything is done here. Only in case of failures, okay, we have to look over here and then find out where exactly it failed, why it failed, everything, okay. Okay, now come back to the QTP. So wherein my script has got recorded. Do you know how to put the weight? Everybody knows how to put the weight, right? Yes? Okay, very good. Weight, and then what we give? Number of seconds. So if you want, you can put the weight also here. Let's say before I enter the date of birth, I can say wait some 5 seconds, 10 seconds, any number of seconds, okay. This 5 is not fixed. Don't be under impression that it is fixed. No. Okay, you can enter any number of seconds that you want. Okay. Now one more thing I'll show you, okay, for commenting. Sure, I can add the comments also, Deepa. How do I add the comments? It is quite simple, right? You use a single quote here, okay, a single invited comma or quote, whatever you call it as. And then, okay, the web list, I select the Maryland. Select the location, I can write here, right? And then enter date of birth. This is a very simple program, okay, anybody can figure out, but the real programs are really complex. We implement certain kind of logic. There the comments are really going to be useful. This, if you have little bit of experience, you can actually read and find out what we are trying to do here. Don't we close the quote? No, Deepa, we don't close the quote. Okay, it is just open quote. One more thing I'll show you, okay. Now let's say I want to comment all these 5 lines. Can you tell me how do I comment all the 5 lines? I want to comment these 5 lines. How do you comment? I need to place a single invited comma or the single quote at the start of each line here. Do you see? Like this. One more better option I'll show you. Select the lines over here. Do you see there is one quick button here? Comment a block. Click on this comment block. You can comment the entire block that you want. You want to uncomment? Select. There is uncomment, uncomment. These are some quick buttons that are available, okay. So you can go to the view and then toolbars. You can actually do the customization here. Okay, which you want, you do not want, insert. Okay, so do you see something has gone over here? You want the toolbars and then click on the insert. So you can insert. Okay, you can remove these and you can add these also. You can do the customization here for the quick buttons. Okay. Any doubts in today's session? So let's quickly revise what we have done today. And you are going to help me, okay? Yes. Tell me what we did in today's class. Sure, Deepa. Yeah. Unmuted. Tell me. Okay, so what is the first thing that we did? What did you learn first? Forgot. Yes, from where did we start the class? Okay, we learned what is the meaning of automation testing, the definition. You got to help me, okay? Yes. What did we learn today? Definition of the automation. Okay, what is automation testing we saw. Why we should do automation, this we saw. Okay. What are the different tools for the automation testing? What are the criteria that we use in order to select a tool? Then we saw several examples of the testing tools, right? And then QTP, the features of the QTP. Then the steps to do the recording, right? And then we recorded two types of application here. One is a web-based application and then another is Windows-based application. And then we saw, okay, advantages is covered here, right? Yeah, record and then the web application and also the Windows application. And then we understood what is maintainability. Okay. And then we saw some of the features like wait, right? Then run and save and all that, correct? So this is what we discussed for today. Any doubts in today's session, anybody? You can ask me. Everybody is on unmute, okay? So any questions you have, you can talk to me, you can ask the questions.
Priya, I have a doubt.
Yes, Deepa?
Yeah, actually, in manual testing, we write test cases and we have, create test data and RTM everything, right? So,
Yes.
do we use the same test cases in test scripts or we do again like differently, like repeatedly?
Okay, here what we do is, one second, let me mute everybody because I hear the echo. Okay, so the test case, okay, the format will be almost the same, okay, not much difference. But here we need to clearly mention what is the environment and all that, okay. And then the steps could be more dispersed over here, that is more separate, each and every individual step. For example, here I click on this web list and then I select the state as Maryland. So here the steps are going to be more dispersed. But yes, here also we have to prepare the test cases, the automation test cases are prepared. And then what is the result that we have to check, everything will be the same. The basic format is going to be the same. The same steps, the same test data we are going to have, and then the same expected result, everything is going to be the same. Okay. Format will remain the same. Any other questions?
So, do we use quality center for QTP? I mean, I remember you said like we can use quality center for manual and automation test scripts, right?
We can use.
So how do we use we use those test cases? I mean, we based on that test cases we run here or how?
Okay. See, Quality Center, it is a test management tool, right? Wherein we can manage the activities of the testing process. Now, whether it is the manual testing or automation testing, it doesn't matter. We can use the Quality Center for any kind of test management activities. And there, while we create the test case, okay, so we have to select the QTP. It can be integrated. QTP will be there, and there you will have a test script instead of, along with the test design, the test script, one more tab will be there. So from there, it will direct you to the QTP. No automation happens in the quality center, but it is going to direct you to the QTP. And that is why, okay, the older version of the QTP, the quality center, we were also calling it as a test director. Means it was directing to the it actually does even now. So it directs you to the automation testing tool. But the quality center in itself doesn't do any automation. You click on the automation icon that will be present in the quality center. So it will bring you to the QTP here, and you should do all the recording, everything here. And then you go back there, you run here, the result you can see there. So that integration, yes, it can be done. Not just this, okay, quality center can be integrated with many other tools as well. That integration patches will be there, so you need to install and then it gets integrated.
So basically in quality center we manage all the test cases and scripts, and when we want to run those scripts, like automation scripts, either we can run from the test lab, we can schedule. For example, if I want to run the automation scripts in the midnight 12 o'clock, so I can schedule those scripts from my test lab module in quality center, so that it will automatically launch QTP and run the scripts from QTP, right? So basically quality center is a test management tool to manage all those scripts. But when we want to run those scripts, either we can schedule to run those scripts or we can click on the run button. So when we click on run button from a test lab module in quality center, so it will launch the QTP tool and run those scripts and validate all the application. So is that correct, Priya?
Yes, exactly. That is correct, Rao sir. So you have to, that is why, we call it as a test director. So it is going to direct you to the QTP, and execution again happens in the QTP, but the results, it will be sent back to the quality center. That is correct.
Thank you.
That is right.
Yeah, basically we write some different kind of scripts to report or not report event and all those different kind of VB script to report all the results to quality center.
Yes.
So basically in case if the script fails in the test lab, it will show that these are the scripts are failed. So maybe there are some settings we can set up automatic emails, or maybe results are setting in the, there is something called a dashboard in quality center. Basically when you go to the dashboard and it can generate the report for what are the scripts are passed and how many scripts are failed.
Yes.
So how many test case passed, those things also will be managed.
Yeah. Either we can generate from the dashboard, or if we go to the test lab, there also we have the analysis report, there we can generate. In each and every module we have the report generation. Customized reports can also be generated in the quality center. Yeah, I think Deepa knows that, she has attended my quality center session, right? Deepa, you know how to generate the reports, right? Customized reports, everything we discussed. Yeah.
Okay,
So
thank you, Priya. Have a wonderful day, and so we will touch base tomorrow again.
Yeah, sure. Okay, then thanks everybody. Thanks for attending the session and have a good day.
Yeah, thank you, you too.